The Earth has already tried to kill everything living on it, at least 5 times. Here's the full 4.6 billion year story, and how it ends. About 4.6 billion years ago, gravity pulled dust and rock together into a molten ball we now call Earth. It didn't stay quiet for long. Almost immediately, a Mars-sized world slammed into it, and the debris from that collision became the Moon. As the wreckage settled and the planet slowly cooled, water vapor condensed into rain that fell for millions of years, filling the first oceans. Somewhere in those early seas, chemistry crossed a threshold no one fully understands, and life began. But survival was never guaranteed. For over 1 billion years, tiny microbes quietly rewrote the atmosphere, flooding it with oxygen for the first time in Earth's history, a gas that was, for almost everything alive, pure poison. What emerged from that crisis was something new: cells with internal structure, the distant ancestors of every plant and animal alive today. Then the planet nearly finished the job itself. Ice crept out from the poles until Earth froze over almost entirely, top to bottom. When the ice finally broke, the answer to that earlier question became impossible to miss. Life hadn't just endured, it exploded. Eyes, shells, legs, and predators, all appearing within a strikingly short span of time. Soon after, the first plants crept out of the water and began turning bare rock into soil, quietly setting the stage for something bigger. Fish followed close behind, and one stubborn few pulled themselves onto land using fins that were slowly becoming legs. But nothing in this story stayed safe for long. A catastrophe wiped out nearly 90% of all species in what's now called the Great Dying. So what actually decided who got a second chance and who didn't? From the survivors rose a new dynasty of reptiles that would dominate the planet for the next 160 million years. Their reign felt permanent, right up until the moment it wasn't. A mountain-sized rock fell from the sky and changed the course of evolution forever. Tens of millions of years later, in the shadow of that extinction, one small lineage of primates began walking a path that would eventually lead to us. Modern humans finally appeared, a species capable of asking where it came from and where it might be going. Then came the moment everything sped up. Humans learned to farm, and scattered bands became villages, then cities. Within a few thousand years, we were burning the buried remains of ancient forests, and the pace of change became unlike anything the planet had ever seen. Today, we stand in the middle of that acceleration, still deciding what kind of story this is going to be. As it turns out, it was never the strongest species that made it through Earth's worst moments. It was whichever ones could adapt the fastest. Now, for the first time, that question isn't about some ancient creature, it's about us. From here, verified history runs out, and everything that follows is only a glimpse of what's still to come. By the middle of the century, several of the planet's natural balances may already have tipped past the point of return. Ice sheets that took millennia to form could be shedding mass faster than they can rebuild, and coral reefs, nurseries for a quarter of all marine life, may exist mostly as bleached skeletons. Nothing collapses all at once, it just stops recovering. By the next century, rising seas and shifting climate belts could redraw the map itself. Coastal cities that took generations to build may spend just as long being slowly abandoned as tens of millions of people move inland in the largest migration our species has ever attempted. Faced with a planet no longer cooperating, humanity may try to take the controls directly. Dimming sunlight with reflective particles in the upper atmosphere, or pulling carbon back out of the air on an industrial scale. It would be the first time a species deliberately re-engineered its own climate, with no guarantee the fix wouldn't cause new problems of its own. By then, the coastlines on any map would look almost unrecognizable. Seawalls, floating districts, and entire relocated capitals could become simply how cities are built, and a generation may grow up never knowing the coastline their grandparents once knew. Long before the ice ever returns, our own species may stop being the only one wearing our face. Centuries of genetic engineering and generations spent adapting to space, radiation, and altered gravity could quietly split humanity into distinct branches, echoing in reverse the very split that created us in the first place. Push far enough past that, and the planet's own rhythms may pull it back toward ice, no matter what we've done in the meantime. Further still, and the drifting continents will finally reunite into one supercontinent, closing the ocean that once separated everything we know. 1 billion years on, the sun will have grown so much brighter that the oceans themselves slowly begin to boil away. And in the end, 5 billion years from now, a swollen, dying sun may finally reach out and swallow the world that made us. From a cloud of dust to a dying sun's final embrace, this is the only home we will ever get. Subscribe, and let's see where the next chapter takes us.